The breaking news this hour, a stunning rebuke of Donald Trump by the highest-ranking Republican in the U.S. government. In an exclusive interview with CNN's Jake Tapper, the House Speaker, Paul Ryan, says he's not ready yet to support Donald Trump as the Republican presidential nominee. We're back with the Republican National Committee's chief strategist and communications director, Sean Spicer. I want to just be precise, Sean. So Reince Priebus, your boss, the chairman of the RNC, he's setting up a meeting between these two men, Paul Ryan, Donald Trump.
He's not setting, the two individuals are setting it up between themselves. He's not.
And they will meet here in Washington?
I don't know. That's between Speaker Ryan and Mr. Trump to figure out the details.
Who has to blink in this?
Again, I don't believe that it's a question of who's blinking. I think it's a question of two individuals sitting down and gaining a greater understanding of the questions that they have about each other. They frankly, I mean, Mr. Trump as an individual, as you know, hasn't run for public office. He brought that up in the interview with you last night. So I think a lot of this is understanding the Speaker's policy agenda, and I think the Speaker needs to ask him some questions about where he stands on a couple of the key issues that are important to him. Republican conference.
But it would seem like Reince Priebus might be a good intermediary in trying to bring them together.
He is close to both.
He's
Don't get me wrong.
Close to Paul Ryan. He's the leader of the Republican
National Committee. That's right. And so he has been in contact with both, but he is also ensuring, you know, they connected and
you see this as a crisis right now?
No, I don't.
How would you describe it?
Look, we entered a week that no one thought we were going into. Nobody woke up Tuesday morning and said, hey, there's going to be a Republican nominee by the end of tonight. That's just not how anyone planned the week. And I think that we started off a process that we all believe, myself included, that was going to go to June 7th. We believed there would be more time, and a lot of these discussions would be happening over the course of the next 40 days. They didn't. So I think that we're starting now, and we're going to begin this process. I believe we'll be entirely unified, going into Cleveland, coming out, and committed to defeating Hillary Clinton.
But you got some other problems in the Republican Party right now. There's no shortage of them. For example, we just learned Mitt Romney's not going to go to the Republican National Convention in July in Cleveland. John McCain is not going to go. The two most recent Republican presidential nominees. Neither President Bush now is going to go. They're not going to even comment. They're not even going to talk about Donald Trump being. That's a pretty serious slap in the face to the Republican presidential nominee.
Well, look, last cycle, former President Bush didn't attend the convention either. I'm the spokesman for the party. I'd love to have as many high-ranking Republicans there, every one of our previous standard bearers. That would be great to have them all there. They're an important part. We need all the help we can get, frankly, to win this election. We need Republicans plus independents, soft Democrats. We need to grow our party, not subtract it. But at the end of the day, this is what happens. There are people in cycle, Senator McCain being one of them, who are focusing on their races as they should. It happens every cycle. I was involved in a member's race in 1996 that chose not to go to San Diego. This is part of the process. I was there in 2012 in Charlotte, where several prominent senators, Claire McCaskill, Governor Tomlin, didn't show up for Barack Obama. This is part of happens. So I know it's a good news story, but it's just part of the reality of people who are up for re-election.
Here's another news story. The Republican senator from Nebraska, Ben Sasse, he put out a statement saying this: the people deserve better than these two terrible choices, referring to Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. They want more choices. They're right. He wants a third-party candidate to emerge to run against Donald Trump as the Republican nominee, and presumably Hillary Clinton if she becomes the Democratic nominee.
Right. Well, I understand it on the Democratic side, right? You've got between Hillary Clinton, who is under investigation
Ben Sasse
from the FBI.
is a Republican.
I understand that, and that's why I'm saying I agree with half of his statement. I agree with his understanding that Hillary Clinton's a very flawed candidate. Most Americans don't find her trustworthy.
But he says Trump is a very flawed candidate.
But at the end of the day, the more voters than ever before participated in a process, that's who they chose. I understand that we had a great number of qualified candidates, frankly a historic number that ran this time, and people were very passionate about the individual candidate that they may have supported, and frankly maybe even had a second choice. But now as Republicans we need to come together, and if we do this right, look what happened in 2008. Barack Obama went at it epically. They made up afterwards. He frankly appointed her to his Secretary of State afterwards. I think if we as Republicans really think about the big prize, look at what's at stake in this election, we can come together.
But Sean,
We're 2 days out of this. We're 2 days out of this. We've got time, Wolf. I think, don't worry, going into Cleveland, this is not the conversation we're going to be having. I think that we are going to be unified. There's going to be a lot of excitement. I think once people start realizing that Hillary Clinton is the alternative, we will be not only unified as a party, but we will continue to grow.
But you have some other prominent Republicans, as you well know, that don't want a third-party candidate. They say they're going to vote for
wants,
they say they're going to vote for Hillary Clinton.
A third-party candidate is a step towards helping Hillary Clinton. That's it. Bottom line. If you support a third-party candidate, you might as well say, I support Hillary Clinton. That's it. There is no other option.
There is another option. If it's a really good third-party candidate.
No, it's not, because it's silly.
If that candidate wins some electoral college.
The last time a third-party candidate got electoral vote was 1968. It's not going to happen. So the idea of saying that there is no organization, there's no funding mechanism, and frankly, there's no consensus candidate, it's not going to happen. It's a great cocktail conversation point, but I
raised the point because a former mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg, said he wasn't going to run because he knew if he did, he'd get some electoral college votes. It would be thrown to the House of Representatives. No one would get 270 electoral college votes, and the Republican majority in the House would pick the Republican to be the nominee.
Okay, so under every scenario, we end up with the Republican. But at the end of the day, a guy like Mike Bloomberg, who's worth billions and billions of dollars, got elected, as mayor of New York City, which is no easy task, understands that he couldn't do it. So the idea that a bunch of people who are out at cocktail parties around D.C. think that they're going to pull together some magic solution and make it happen.
And your message to those Republicans like Mike Salter, a former top aide to Mark Salter,
I understand,
who say they're going to support Hillary Clinton?
Is take some time, breathe, relax. I understand that it was a competitive primary. There was a lot of elbows thrown. I understand it. Relax, take some time, watch what happens, give Donald Trump some time to show how he wants to lead this party. We've got plenty of time, unlike the Democrats, but understand that Hillary Clinton is an unacceptable choice to anyone who considers themselves a conservative at all.
Sean Spicer, the Chief Strategist Communications Director for the Republican National. You had a tough job over there, Sean.
Thank you.
All right, thanks very much for joining us. The break.